Chicken Nuggets Noob here with another MMR Motivational Monday rant. As you guys can tell, I wanted a little extra today. I was like, I want to wear eyelashes. I've been wanting to wear eyelashes. I love eyelashes. I think they make you look more dramatic. I feel like I feel a lot prettier when I'm wearing eyelashes. So I thought, why not today? And I swear, while I was putting on my eyelashes, I was like, I got this. These eyelashes are not the boss of me. I'm gonna get them right. They're gonna look freaking gorgeous. So while putting them, I was like saying this to myself. I'm the boss. They're not the boss. I'm gonna put them perfectly. So I think I did a pretty darn good job. What do you guys think? Yeah. Anyways, that's not the point. I just wanted to be extra today because it's Monday. Why not? The topic of today, and something that I gotta work on myself. And most of these rants are gonna be about things that I feel like most people around my life could work on. And today we are going to talk about consistency. I wanted to start off with a quote that I read yesterday while prepping for this. And it was, the achievement of a level of performance that does not vary greatly in quality over time. I also kind of pair that with being there and having kind of like a structure to your life. I think a lot, especially in the gaming industry and especially in the streaming industry, we get so wrapped up in numbers, so wrapped up in sub counts, so wrapped up in follower count, where we lose track of really the main motivation on why we start gaming and why we start streaming. And it is so darn easy, and not just in gaming, but in general in life, to look on social media or look to our neighbor, our friend, our close friend, our best friend, and say, oh my gosh, why are they succeeding at everything in their life? And it feels like I'm doing jackdoodly shenanigans. And I'm just in the same spot that I was 6 months ago or 3 months ago or a month ago. And it is so darn easy to start doubting your self-worth, your judgment, as well as your desire for whatever goal you're reaching for. You start thinking, am I able to succeed in this? Am I really supposed to be doing this? And it's like this whole kind of mind game where we start doubting everything, and it's really sucks. I've been there. I honestly feel like I needed to do this rant because I was feeling that way yesterday. And I always talk about this. I always talk about Rachel. I love Rachel. She is the reason why I'm so motivated most of the time. I've been reading her book, Girl Wash Your Face, and it is so good. It's so weird. I was at such a strange time that I was like, you know what? I'm going to read tonight. I'm going to wash my makeup brushes, which is why my makeup came on point. And while I was reading, there was this section where she was just like, stop doubting yourself. You are your own critic. You're stopping yourself from being who you want to become. And I literally started bawling. I started crying. Like, she was like, you're allowed to cry. Do you feel weak? Cry at this moment. And I was like literally bawling because that message hit so close to home that I was just like, oh my goodness, like, it's so strange. Life just plays like these little tiny games on you. And it was really strange, and it was a perfect timing. And that's why I was like, you know what? I'm going to write about this. I'm going to rant about this today. So one thing that really helped me was really sitting there and writing down all the things I have accomplished. For example, for me, my long-term goal is to, and I'm going to put it out there because if you put it out there, it's going to happen. Long-term goal is to be able to live off of streaming and, of course, get a hosting / casting job. That is my long-term goal. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna chase after that. And the milestones from where I was at the beginning to where I am now. Number one, I started off of Xbox. Right now I have a beautiful PC setup. It's a little bit old. It's about 4 or 5 years old, but it still works. It's amazing. I'm able to create my content. I have a beautiful camera. I have beautiful lighting. I have 23,000 followers on Mixer. I just hit 131 subscribers on Mixer as well, which I have never hit on any other platform. I have impacted people's lives. There's people that, you know, look towards me and are like, oh my goodness, like, you make me so happy. I motivate people, and that is honestly the biggest blessing to me. At this moment, I think you should really look, if you're feeling like you're not being consistent, or you feel like, what am I doing with my life? I need you to sit down and write down, what do you have accomplished from the point where you started to where you are today? And I promise you, that's gonna make you feel 10 to 20 times better about yourself. Guaranteed. Then, what are your, I wrote this down because I always have to write things down. I'm a planner. It's just what I do. Another thing is enjoy the journey, and that is really, really hard. In order to remain consistent and in order to remain desiring what you want to achieve, you have to enjoy the where you are now, and obviously envision where you want to be next. I like to believe that everything happens for a reason, and where you are now is exactly where you're meant to be. Maybe it's not where you plan to be, but the future, the whatever thing you believe in, God, Buddha, it doesn't matter what you believe in, they have a plan for you, and it's coming along just as they planned it. Unfortunately, you get to make the choices, you get to decide what way you go, and all the choices are made by you, but your path is going to unfold right in front of your eyes when it's supposed to. There's a lot of things that are out of our control, especially at this moment, but you gotta work on what you can. And what can you do right now is work on yourself, work on your career. It might not be physically working on it because you can't go outside if you're in LA, or, I mean, you can, but you gotta wear a face mask. There's all these legality things, but you can work on paper, planning it out. Half of the thing to doing something is planning it out. And a lot of people fail in the planning process. If you are not planning properly, plan properly. And that's what you can work on right now. Think of things that you can work on. I'm not sure what they are for you, but you can sit there and think about them and kind of figure it out on your own. Because most of the time you're gonna have to figure it out on your own. And it makes you realize that you can rely on yourself. Then be honest with yourself. Are you being too critical of yourself? And most of the time, the answer is going to be absolutely yes. Are you comparing yourself to thy neighbor and saying, hey, well, my buddy, he's made 20,000 grand and he has a new car. I don't know if 20,000 grand is a lot, but he's got a new car, he's got a new relationship, he's got his life all figured out, and I'm just here. But where you started and where your buddy started may not be the same place. So really be honest with yourself. Are you being lazy, or are you really just on your own journey? I know that's like the hardest thing, like, oh, but yeah, there's so many excuses that you could come up with yourself, but only you know if you are bullshitting yourself. That's the reality. And last but not least is progress is better than no progress. So if you feel like, oh my gosh, I haven't really done much, but then you sit here and you write down all your achievements, and your achievements are freaking amazing, even if you have one, it's better than not having none. And it is okay to mix things up if you feel like you are not making enough progress. There is a such thing that I personally do, which is called a trial period. Everyone does a trial period. It's something that they do at gyms. It's something that you could do, I don't know, in a bunch of places. But what I take from a trial period is I do something that I think would help me grow my stream. For example, I've been doing a book club because I wanted to share things about myself with my community that they would enjoy as well. So we have been doing this book club, and lately I love it. I think it's amazing. And then I look at the viewership number and how people are enjoying it, and if people really like it. Thankfully people have liked it. Yay for me, because I love the book club. I'm really excited every week to do it. By the way, I do it every Wednesday. 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when we start reading, and I have closed captions so people can read what I'm reading out loud to them. So it's pretty amazing. Come check it out. People love it. Right now we're reading The Institution by Stephen King, and it is amazing. But if I look at my numbers 3 months from now and they're kind of looking a little flaky, or it looks like people are not really enjoying it, then that's when I would reconsider, okay, do we really need this book club, or do I kind of just want to do it because I enjoy it? And that's where your own personal judgment can come in. It could be anything in your life. You're thinking, okay, what if I wake up at 5 in the morning as opposed to 7, and maybe I could get a little more work done? You could try it for 3 months, and if it doesn't work out for you, then it's okay. No harm, no foul, basically. And that's pretty much all that I wrote for this consistency. I think the most important thing that I want to leave you off is always remember why you started, what you started. It could be streaming, it could be running, it could be eating healthier. Always remember the starting reason. Always remember your motivation. Always remember why this is important for you to do and why you want to achieve this in your life. It could be to prove yourself that you could do something. It could be because you really need it financially. It could be because you just love gaming. For example, for me, you just love gaming and you want to share your own personality and you want to motivate others and you want to be a bright light in someone's life. That is my why. And I always try to, at the end of the day, no matter my viewership number, no matter my sub count, no matter anything else, if one person from my community says, hey, you have impacted my life in the most positive way, I take that as a win. And that's it. Consistency is key. Always work on improving yourself. Always keep going towards that end goal. Keep moving. I don't care how. I don't care, what sacrifices you have to make at the end. If this goal is worth it to you and nobody else around you, just to you, then you will find ways to achieve it. So I hope you guys have a fantastic Monday. I love your faces. Peace out, Boy Scouts.